Hey, true crime friends. Welcome to another episode of Mountain Standard True Crime. I'm Michelle Carlson. The episode that we're going to talk about today is about a terrible tragedy that took place in southern Utah just last month in March of 2025, where a woman was found stabbed to death in a rental home. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel so we can keep episodes coming. We also really look forward to hearing from you in the comments. Just our regular housekeeping items. This content can be disturbing to some and is not appropriate for children. All of the information that we share on this channel comes from publicly available information or official records requests. And our opinions are just that. I'm going to share my opinion a lot because this is my channel and I can. But it's not meant, my opinions are not meant to be interpreted as fact. They are just simply meant to be my opinions. So with that, here we go. Washington County is located in the southwestern corner of the state of Utah in the United States. The 2020 census reported the population to be 1,279, making it the fifth most populous city in the state of Utah. But I can tell you from personal experience, because I live in Utah and I've recently traveled to southern Utah, there are a lot more people than that living here now. In the past 5 years, a lot of people have moved here. It'll be interesting to see what the census is for 2025 once we get that information. Its county seat and largest city is St. George. The county was created in 1852 and organized in 1856 and is named after founding father and first president of the United States, George Washington. It's also an interesting territory because a portion of the Paiute Indian Reservation is in western Washington County. As you can see, if you're watching the video, Washington County is absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. I lived there for a while, and when I would drive to work, I just couldn't believe how beautiful it is. There are red rock cliffs, tall mountains that sometimes have green trees and snow on them. They occasionally get snow down in the cities. There's a ton of sunshine. The mild weather and the terrain make it a very popular destination for outdoor sports. There are big sports complexes down there that host softball, baseball, and soccer, as well as it is the host to the annual Huntsman World Senior Olympics, where thousands of people come from all over the world to participate every fall. There's a lot to do for outdoor enthusiasts, such as hiking, biking, boating, and golfing, to name a few. And for all of those reasons, Washington County is a popular tourist destination. And in relation to this story, has been home to multiple juvenile treatment and wilderness programs over the years. Residential, outdoor, foster care. I worked for a treatment foster care program in St. George for a couple of years as a case manager. But the businesses have come and gone, but there are some down there still. Here we go with the story. Shortly before 11:45 a.m. on March 23rd, 2025, a woman was found dead in a VRBO rental home in the Sendera at Sierra Hills community in St. George, Utah. Officers arrived at the residence initially for a welfare check, but they ran into the cleaning crew staff who said that when they arrived, the garage door was open and there were still a significant number of personal items in the rental home, even though the occupants were supposed to check out that day. The cleaning crew also told police that they had found an unresponsive woman upstairs. Officers performing the welfare check found a woman dead with multiple stab wounds, who was later identified as 47-year-old Andreea Mottram of Auburn, California. The medical examiner estimated the time of death to be approximately 8 p.m. on March 22nd, reporting that she had suffered 18 stab wounds during the brutal murder. That had to have been an awful crime scene. Evidence technicians processing the scene found several knives in the residence, including one in particular that was found in the sink that had been washed, but there were still trace amounts of blood on that knife. During the search of the home where Andreea was found, 2 cell phones were located in the toilet that were determined to belong to Andrea's adopted daughter, 16-year-old Mihaela Sorescu, and 17-year-old Abigail Flanagan, along with an ID inside of a purse that belonged to Andrea. I don't know what they were thinking. I mean, teenagers are teenagers and sometimes don't think things all the way through, but thinking that a cell phone, 2 cell phones and a purse are going to flush down the toilet wasn't very smart, in my opinion. But they were probably in a panic and didn't really think that through. And again, teenage brains don't always think things all the way through or the potential consequences. Obviously, they put the items in the toilet in an attempt to conceal evidence and to possibly delay their apprehension. Investigators determined that Andrea had flown from Sacramento, California to Las Vegas, Nevada on March 20th, where she rented a red Hyundai Kona, which is like a little SUV. She then traveled to Utah with Abigail Flanagan to visit her daughter Mihaela, who was in a residential treatment facility in the St. George area. The evidence led detectives to believe that Andrea was stabbed by Flanagan, Sorescu, or possibly both teens. Included in the evidence was a pair of jeans that was found in the downstairs master bedroom that had what appeared to be blood on both legs of the pants. There also appeared to be a bloody imprint from a knife blade. The size of the pants were approximately a size 2 to a size 4. So based on the physical descriptions of the girls, the teenage girls, and Andrea's physical attributes, the pants were suspected to belong to her daughter. Police said it was later determined that the 2 juveniles have a history of mental health disorders. Her daughter, Sorescu, with last name Sorescu, had been in a treatment facility for the past 3 years, and Flanagan had been in one for at least a year before her parents checked her out of it. Both teens allegedly took Andrea's financial cards from her wallet, as well as the rental vehicle, and fled the scene to avoid apprehension. The teens were originally called persons of interest by the Washington County Police Department, who was searching for the girls after they left the area. On March 23rd, the Hyundai was captured by a license plate reader heading north on Interstate 15 shortly after midnight in Cedar City, and then more than 4 hours later, it was captured on another license plate reader traveling south on I-15 in Las Vegas, Nevada. So the girls would have had to have driven from the St. George area north up to Cedar City, which is about a 35 minute drive, and then somehow driven back down and over to Vegas. I don't know if they would have driven all the way back down I-15 and then to Vegas, or if they took another route to get down there. But at some point in time, they were back on I-15 in the Las Vegas, Nevada area. The last time the Hyundai's plate was captured was at 9 a.m. that same morning in Paramount, California. The teenagers were later found in the Los Angeles County area, and they were extradited back to Utah, where they were detained at the Dixie Area Detention Center in Washington County. Investigators requested that a no-bail warrant was issued for both suspects, citing that the girls have mental health issues that need to be monitored, and both posed a danger to themselves and others. Sorescu's father, Frank, reported that in the past November, they located a diary that had been written in by the daughter, and in it, she had indicated how much she hated her mother and wrote that she wanted to kill her. Frank also indicated that she would self-harm herself, including often cutting herself with sharp objects, and that she had a history of violent behavior. According to a statement released by Washington City Police Lieutenant Corey Klotz, Abigail Paige Flanagan, who also goes by Jay, of Sheridan, California, she's the one that traveled to California with the daughter's mother, and Mihaela Gabriela Sorescu, also known as Bella, the stepdaughter of the victim of Washington City, Utah, have each been charged as adults with first-degree murder, second-degree felony obstruction of justice for attempting to destroy the evidence, and vehicle theft. On Wednesday, April 9th, both juvenile defendants appeared separately via remote feeds in Judge Eric Gentry's 5th District courtroom. Sorescu is being held at the Washington County Youth Center in Hurricane, Utah, while Flanagan is being housed at the Castle Country Youth Center in Price, Utah, which is about 250 miles away. Both were appointed defense attorneys because they are juveniles, And Flanagan's attorney during this hearing asked that she be moved closer to Washington County. And the judge said that he could not order it, but he would look into it. The defendants were not on video because the cameras were disabled at each of their locations, so they were audio only. The next hearing for both teens is scheduled for April 23rd at 1:30 p.m. They are expected to appear remotely for that hearing as well. Andreea Mottram was a social worker and co-founder of Disability and Refugee Aid Associations in the United States and Romania, including the Chicago-based American Romanian Coalition for Human Equal Rights, which also has the acronym of ARCHER, and a leading advocacy and aid group for autistic individuals in Romania. She did that out of the love for her two sons, both of whom are on the spectrum. I just think that's so sad. She was obviously out there doing some really great advocacy work for some really marginalized populations, and it's just a terrible tragedy for so many reasons. There was a GoFundMe that I was able to find that read, "As we say our goodbyes, Andrea's family is also facing the unexpected weight of funeral expenses and flight costs for loved ones traveling from Romania. If you feel called to help, we kindly invite you to contribute. Your donation will go directly toward easing the financial burden of her farewell and reuniting her family in this time of grief and love. Every gesture matters. No amount is too small. Let's carry Andrea's spirit forward with generosity, compassion, and unity." There was a celebration of life held to honor Andreea via Zoom so that her loved ones in Romania could attend. The invite for that celebration of life said, "We invite you to come together in honoring her beautiful life, whether you knew her deeply or only crossed paths for a moment. Your memories and presence matter. Join us as we celebrate the incredible soul that Andreea was, with love, with tears, and with stories that made us laugh or brought us closer to her light. Bring a photo, a memory, or simply your heart." Again, such a tragic case. This is so sad. She was only 47 years old, which is 5 years younger than me, and I've lived a lot of life in the last 5 years. So she's missed out. She's going to miss out on so much. It's just really sad. And obviously she was kind of a go-getter and would have been able to do and accomplish and enjoy a lot of things later in life. My heart truly goes out to her loved ones and the countless lives that were positively impacted by her generous work with refugees and disabled individuals, including on the spectrum, like her two sons, who no longer have their dynamic mother to advocate or care for them. We will keep you posted on any significant updates in this case. And as always, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to this channel. And if you liked the episode, give it a thumbs up, and we would love to hear any comments that you might have. Until next time, please be aware of your surroundings, stay safe, and take care of yourselves.